You do not want to have sex with impregnate. Why didn't you use a condom? Why didn't you pull out? Is your game that weak? Oh, sorry, my bad.
You have to have what to impact. It's not enough to have a fertile sperm and egg.
We are the main issues because we went through it, we saw it, you had the sex, you met the guy.
You should be man enough because you're already in it with your girl and you're not supposed to go and be telling your parents after the pregnancy is there because what do you expect them to say?
We make all these excuses for them and I don't think it makes a lot of sense. That's all that I expect of parents, to do better, to have an open mind, to not have a closed mind. I don't think it's rocket science, so that excuse, it doesn't fly with me at all.
Not everybody actually wants to be a parent. Not everybody wants to get married. Not everybody wants to have a child.
There are moments that don't change your life. They divide it into the person you became and the person you never had the chance to be. I don't remember the moment I became a father, but I remember the moment I stopped being a boy. I was young, still figuring out who I was, and still believing time was something life could negotiate with me. When we were reckless, we were in love. We thought love was a shield, but the moment she showed me that test, the script of our lives were taken out of our hands.
2 lines. Does this mean yes?
It's okay. We'll figure something out.
Figure what out? Femi, together doesn't buy baby food. You don't understand.
Before we could breathe, our families made decisions for us. You get married. You raise the child. It's the right thing to do. And just like that, our story stopped belonging to us. I tried to buy time. I tried to ask questions. I tried to explain that responsibility is not the same as readiness. On that day, we performed. That's the truth. We wore the cloth. We smiled for the camera. We posted like a couple, ready for forever. But I remembered looking at us from the outside and thinking, this is not a wedding. This is a cover-up. The wedding didn't fix anything, it just muted the questions. Everyone celebrated love. Nobody noticed fear.
When the applaud faded, real life walked in without warning.
You're a father now, Femi. You can't run away from that. If you're man enough to get someone pregnant, you should be a man to take full responsibility.
But I didn't ask to be married. I'm only asking for a little help. She stayed in school. I dropped out to provide. I told myself it was temporary. That this is what good men do. We were standing there after graduation. Proud, yes. But I felt something twist inside me. She finished her dream. Mine was still folded in a box somewhere. I respect my wife. I love my child. But I can't lie. I felt the weight of the life I gave up pressing on my chest, pressing my neck. At night, when the house is quiet, I hear an echo. A version of me that finished his degree. A version that discovered himself before becoming who everyone needed him to be. A version that walked into marriage out of choice, not pressure.
Hi, my name is Sigaboy.
Hi, my name is Aisha.
My name is Amara.
Well, my name is Dapuye.
Hi guys, my name is Rachel.
Hi, my name is Kelvin AB.
Dr. Prince. Stories like this make me cringe, and I'll tell you why it's weird. It's weird because I feel like sex education should be taught in the house, at school, and people should just be self-aware. If she was aware about sex education, first off, contraceptives should have been played in the picture. Secondly, I just feel like abortion could have been done because she's barely 22. I grew up in love. People should be able to express themselves to their parents. Situations like this, if you've hit rock bottom, shouldn't you run to your parents and tell your parents?
My problem here are the parents. They told them not to have an abortion, but it seems along the line they were not involved in their journey because he had to drop out, he was struggling. Their parents telling them to make that decision without being involved in their life. I think from this story, their parents are also part of the problem.
He didn't teach them anything about sex education. Now she got pregnant. Why is she running to her parents to tell the parents, quote unquote, mommy, daddy, I'm pregnant? Just do the right thing. You're an adult, you're having sex, you're an adult. Do the right thing, abort that shit and move on.
Going to the parents is actually wrong because that's what I said. Because the guy he should be man enough because you already in it with your girl and you're not supposed to go and be telling your parents after the pregnancy is there because what do you expect them to say? No, the problem is the guy because he's not matured enough to handle the situation. Why would you have to involve your parents? Because when you guys were doing it, you didn't involve your parents. Why are you involving your parents in this now? That's my point.
The girl is 22 years old, right?
She's an adult. Regardless, non-real.
She's adult, that's relative. When a 22-year-old gets pregnant, I mean, that's like, well, I feel like two of them were naive, like the girl and the boy. Like they are supposed to know that having sex will result to a child. I would like to agree with you small when you said you blame the parents because the foundation is the home, right? So once it's wrong from the home, it spirals into like a host of things.
I always advise the mom picks the child, the girl child, to the clinic. And, let the doctor give them, contraceptive plans because it's absurd to actually tell your child don't have sex. That girl is going to have sex regardless.
You cannot keep teaching somebody something and expect them to learn it because you're teaching them. Because when you're giving a child sex education, remember that how their body feels also differs. Because I was taught sex education, but still, when I still want to have sex, I'll still have sex. And if I want to do it raw, I'll still do it raw. So the sex education for me is just let them just say. But the morals depend on the person they are giving the sex education to.
If the parents don't stand in and give you that stern approach, you might just go in, sort of like head first and just keep doing it. But I feel like that bit of fear of, okay, you know what, if I do this and things get bad, maybe let me not go out tonight. Maybe let me be careful. So I think there's a little bit of caution that kids take because their parents are not like, hey, let me encourage this. Would you say, well, because they raised me like that, that's what I need to do? No, you would do better. And that's all that I expect of parents, to do better, to have an open mind, to not have a closed mind. I don't think it's rocket science.
The orientation before this stage is key.
Can I just say that I'm tired of parents trying to force kids to, do certain things. Like, okay, situations like this now. What do you mean
Okay. Well, that's the cultural setting we are in. It's cultural and religious, right? Say, my pikin no go fit born pikin for my house. That mentality. I'm sure that's why they forced them to get married.
I agree with both ends, yeah. Everything you guys have been saying, I agree with all. I agree because some parents, they would do your own, what you said, they go with it. Oh, yeah.
She do abortion.
Yes, they don't want it. Everybody deserves a second chance. So some parents are like that. They want their child to have that second child. I mean, nobody's above mistake. But in the end of everything, both the girl child and the boy child, they are both at fault because at the end of the day, they knew what they were going in for.
I wonder who we're blaming.
Everyone has their fair share of the blame. the parents for poor orientation.
How do you
The
do
boy
that?
and-
Give them poor orientation? Like
For me, it's not a poor orientation.
this told them miseducation, and yet they still have sex. The parents are not giving them options here.
Yeah, exactly. They're just you must have that child.
You should just tell them to go and
What are you doing to stop
the
parents?
child. For me, I grew up in love, right? I could literally go and meet my mom or my dad. This is it, right?
Do you see that? That's the home factor I'm talking about.
They create options, but I will tell you for free, and I will tell you for a fact that they will never tell me to marry somebody that I don't want to marry.
But you don't give the person belle. Why did you want to give the person belle and you're not ready to marry the person?
Bro, it is what it is.
But say you're pregnant, you have to keep the baby. So you're not even going for advice. You're going to tell her that yes, I'm ready to carry.
No, keeping the baby is not the issue, but getting married. I mean, like, must they have to?
Keeping the baby is like getting married.
It's 2025. There are many baby mamas, David. That
Some people don't exactly my point. Some people don't even get to the marry me part.
So that's why I said.
Once they have the child, they're like, oh, we have the child now, okay. Even the lady, I'm sorry. Some ladies, they are like more like excited after giving birth, like, oh, at least I have this one.
I mean, to me personally, having a child, I wouldn't say is an achievement, or being married is an achievement. As long as you are happy, like just do you. Marriage is not really a necessity. It's not important to get married. It's not important to be a parent. They didn't write it in any law or anything that you must get married or you must have a child.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's heavy on the girl side. I believe in a world where there's fairness and there's equal burden and equal happiness, but unfortunately, the weight is more on the girls usually are the ones that when their life would seemingly stop. This is the first time actually I'm getting to know that a guy, just like everyone said, that's dropped out of school.
Yeah. And that feels good. It feels good.
The responsible.
He's a responsible man. Come on.
Yeah. So it's more on the girl side.
I agree with you. Yes, your answer is so perfect with me because I feel the same way.
Leaning towards the female's mental health. I was just delving into the direction that men's mental health should matter. When you've put yourself in a predicament or a situation with your girl, I just feel it is right for you to also be overwhelmed mentally. I've actually seen cases where I work where the family will actually make it a point of duty for the guy to get more of the shame.
A lady has the more heavier shame. Yeah. Forget about.
I'm not disputing that.
Forget.
I'm not disputing.
Okay, so what's your question?
My point is, there are some guys. I
Of course they are. As there are some guys, there are some girls too. There are some girls who doesn't feel no shame at all.
Religious.
So until it's over with, I feel like it's still girl.
Oh.
Honestly, I just feel like it's still girl.
Right, even from a religious thing, even like in this, the story where they were about to stone one adulterous woman. Yeah, you remember that story?
Allegedly.
I like that. Say the woman no tango by herself.
Yes, man.
Because it takes
why did they stone only the woman? You see where I'm going with it, right? So it is the woman's shame to be.
I still agree that the lady carry more weight. There's nothing is beating that.
I think he does not protect the future at all. Also, I don't know why.
Why do you think he doesn't protect the future?
Because honestly, you at that point you're not making your own decision by yourself, and you don't even know what you are doing. But when you take your time, you can have choices. You can relax, live as an adult. That's like the proper way to actually get married.
Yeah, I agree with you because you're still young, and you're thinking of marriage. It doesn't future.
Also, can I say something? Yes. On the basis of things, I actually agree with what she said, but I just want to bring another perspective into it. I also feel like marrying early also prevents you from having too much emotional baggages, and because there are some experiences, they don't shape you, they destroy you. You feel me? So marrying early in most cases actually prevents you from having too much to deal with in the future. I mean, you don't have a lot to compare with, you don't have a lot of, things to start weighing around. When you talk about options, there's a problem with options, There's a problem with options, yeah? It makes you feel like, first of all, there is time. First of all, there is a better thing or place or something. And at the end of the day, those are just illusions, just imagination. Nothing is better than whatever you are. Because you have never experienced what you think is better for you to say is better.
My mom married early, my dad married early. And that was because of the economic situation back then. I'm pro marry early. It avoids, like you said, it makes you avoid situations like emotional instability. And I'm not saying that when you get married, you will not have your emotional baggages. But I just feel it gives you, for me, love is not enough. That's one.
Yeah.
2, you're growing with your partner. 3, you're making mistakes along the way. 4, you're growing with your children. And as you're growing with your children, don't forget the sex education we're talking about. You're in that liberty, you're young, you're telling your children, this is what it is. It's just this economy that is making it difficult for us to say.
I feel like the times we're in as well, because when your parents got together, I think the times were different.
Exactly.
It was things were still sane, kinda. Right now things are wild, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's more reason why you should marry early now, because the more you wait, the more you get corrupted.
I feel like it's very important to be matured before you get into
See, yeah, this is maturity, first of all. In this concourse, what's your idea of maturity?
Maturity is not always age, but age comes with experience, which is key.
boy.
Now, because the economy or the society is extremely damaged right now, you are not growing into clarity. You are growing into more, I don't even know, disruption. Because, bro, the more exposed you are right now, the more likely you don't even want to get married.
Well, I disagree with Siga Boy in a sense. Even though getting married early has its perks, but when children get married, what do you expect? So I feel like there has to be that level of maturity to be able to have a union and bring somebody else into the world. You see, you have to have what to impact. It's not enough to have a fertile sperm and egg.
You don't need exposure to be corrupt. So forget about.
Nah, it's exposure. See, let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
Take it from.
The reason why almost every girl out there now, they are so money conscious is because they see that this girl just took a picture from Dubai, this one took a picture from Soseki. And I said I did, and it's that exposure that is making them feel that planted. They are not seeing what their their colleague is up to. They don't have the ideas.
The exposed are not pressurized. Magic show in Boso.
A lot of things are from exposure. Whatever you go to school to, the reason why we go to school is to get exposed to teaching, to learning, to learn things. The truth is, we all as human beings have this naturally in us. We want what is good for us. You feel me? And when we see that somebody else is getting that same thing we want, it's definitely going to want to influence your thoughts or your actions. Now, it is depending on individual to now say, okay, this is who I am. It's not like the thought will not cross your head. I would say that there's nobody, when they place your fantasy right in front of you and somebody else is having it, you will definitely feel like, damn, I suppose they chop this thing.
This is what I'm understanding. If I have children right now and I know that I'm unable to give my kids like real fancy things, I would stop them from seeing other children getting fancy things from their parents. I would hide my kids in the house.
No.
Or wear them a blindfold because,
because you know what exposed them.
if I expose them to it,
let me tell you something. Your children are still in the stage where you can still orient them. You can still teach them to be contented. In the space where they are not in the...
I don't think
you can't teach someone to be contented.
No. It's individual grace now depends.
So you can teach people to not be jealous. These are feelings.
That's why I said individually it matters.
If you still don't provide,
half the time, we are a product of our background, bro. Half the time is how your parents raised you, or the environment you are exposed to.
So all of us who feel angry or feel jealous is because our parents raised us to feel these things, or that
individually. As much as we learn individually, what you allow is also there. Your parents you and your brother are raised from the same family, the same background, but your brother might turn out to be something else other than for you.
You see, to the last state of contentment, that's not something you teach. Because are you saying, again, will you teach somebody to be happy when you're raising them in an environment that is unhappy?
Contentment, generally, we know that every human being have a unique character trait. But in the general note, we all know that it is our upbringing and childhood and whatever we are experiencing that will shaping how we react to further or situations that comes in the future. You feel me? So saying that feeling of contentment can be if you are raised in a home where nobody is envious of each other and then everybody is raised with love and things are shared. Even when it looks like you are being cheated, there's a way they counsel you about it and reorient you. When you grow up, you definitely would apply those things that you've learned while growing up that's already a part of you. Why did you think the Bible said, train your child the way he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart from it? If there's no training and all those things, why then would the Bible, that's Bible, which is what we are supposed to live by as a religious person. So you can't tell me that it can't be taught. Individually, you cannot decide to be whatever you want to be. You can decide to pick whatever you can get from information that's been placed in your front, but you can't tell me that it can't be taught. I ain't going to agree to that. All right, so personally, if I was in that situation, I first consider my financial status because whatever reason building a family, and money be the root of everything. You feel me? So if I feel like I'm not up to the task, now there are two things involved. The babe too has an opinion, and because whatever we are going to do to solve this issue, either we are progressing with it or just cutting it, the lady's life is basically at risk in between, whatever it is you are going to. So our opinion matters a lot, but I'll just find a way to convince her in case, in situation where I know that I'm not up to this shit, you feel me? I just find a way to convince her, like, we need to,
Convincing her to do what?
To find other means to not let the fetus grow.
No, the baby is already born in this country.
The baby is already...
He's already born.
Yeah, as long as we avoid... we didn't do anything until that point. I heard.
You would just be there and be...
Yes, now I'll be present now. I wouldn't... One promise I made to myself is never to be absent in any of my children's life.
That's it.
No matter, even if I marry or don't marry the...
Mother.
So I would... That's good.
Let's just be accountability. Let's be true to ourselves and be genuine. Yes, maybe blame your parents, but know that it's your own fault. You're the one who brought this upon them, upon all of you, like you all. So I think you should be accountability before you blame those parents, because at the end of the day, they're living too.
Blame the parents. If I can blame them 100,000 times, I would. I blame parents for a lot of things, honestly, and can I just say that I've been looking for an opportunity to express how much I blame parents. I think parents need to do better. In a lot of cases, I like inclusivity, but our parents, let me not say our parents, because some of us grew up in love.
Big love.
For those of us who maybe didn't, right? It's painful to see how they want to impress upon us these ideas. This is what you should believe in. This is how you should go. This is what you should do. In fact, some people, I remember when I said I wanted to work in radio, there was a meeting in my house because my grandmother said, oh, he wants to be a radio. That's literally her interpretation of that. That's what it was, that I want to be a radio set or something. And she made it seem like like something that wasn't...
Like sound crier.
Yeah, and she was like, I don't see lawyer to be. See what I want to be. My dad's a lawyer, so she wanted me to be a lawyer as well. And it's painful because, anyway, good thing, one thing I want to do I can't be a lawyer, so thankfully I didn't told that part. But the point is, if they raise us to have opinions, right from childhood, where we can sit with them, we can talk with them, we can share things with them, I think we would have less serial killers, less terrible people in society. If these people are able to talk with their parents and get good guidance, but now we have parents that are like this.
I agree with you, and I'm big on that too. I am totally big on that, but in some case, I don't think you should blame the parents totally, because let me tell you, there are some parents that are bossing their ass down and up and off just so they can keep their kids in line, in check. But trust me, if I feel like it's just by the grace of God. If you want to, you would. If you don't want to, you wouldn't. There are kids that they have good parents. Have you seen some people's parents? Like they are good to the core. You are like, oh God, why is this not my mother or my father? But like their offspring, they are worse and bad, and it's not their fault. So I agree that you can blame parents, but sometimes just blame the
Take accountability.
Let me jump in real quick. Yeah. I wanted to say that sometimes we should cut these parents some slack. They do not know better.
life too.
Is that the thing?
You don't.
If they knew better, they would do better. So that is why I do not agree that you should get married early. So you have experience to pass down to them.
No.
Okay, but I was in the middle of that. If you're not exactly blaming parents because according to you they don't know better, like I said, what I expect of someone who does not know better is that person should be open to questions and contributions. Or these parents would act as though, oh, in fact, they would tell you things like, oh, what an elder sees while climbing an Iroko tree, you wouldn't see.
Exactly my point. That's all they hear. That's all they hear. That's what I'm saying.
It's not the truth. It's not the truth.
I don't want, let's not, because I'm going to digress now into another topic. But what I want to say is,
Parents, they didn't know anything about AI. I know AI better than them. So let them climb Iroko tree. Will they see?
Can I say something?
You're talking about what's
Actually,
now in this generation. That's they don't have it. But what they have, we don't have it
The
now.
youth that they are having in my life, if they are giving me advice on life, my life right now, I'm not a primitive, I'm not a dinosaur. I am of this present generation. So if you're going to have an input in my present life, how about you get informed about what really is going on right now and may that informed advice and not just hold on to prehistoric style.
Parents are not the problem, because we as the children, we also have our own, they're adults, so they can make their own decision. So their parents has nothing to do with it. They are not the problem at all, because when you carry pregnancy to especially African parents, they will tell you to keep the pregnancy. And for me, that is forced anyways, but that's the right thing for them to do. So the parents are not at fault at all.
Coming from somebody like me,
I get you.
who used to have a lot of resentment for my pop man, you feel me? I'm saying this because I'm gonna say it to his face so he can see. Anyway, we'll say it because I've always been this person who do not believe in you. People owe you shit. I took that so personal to the point where I don't even ask my parents for shit. You feel me? But growing up and facing a lot of things, I used to sometimes feel like, damn, my parents really fucked up, because there's a lot of places where they should be there for me and they're not there for me. But now that I'm in this adulthood and I'm facing my own shit, and I know I should have started a family, but I never still start. You feel me? I'm beginning to realize that to an extent, these people are also raising us based off of how they were raised.
Lost their present time to
And what they also see, there's something with okay, I don't know if this makes any sense or if it's going to correlate, but there's another issue that people also always do with this idea of I've come too far to go back now. You feel me? No. I'm just reasoning. So half the time, parents already find themselves in one situation, like and in this situation, it's just survival mode. They are, bro. You can't expect their brain to always work as sharp as your own, as wide as your own. Now I'm going somewhere.
For them when it's
No, it's not making excuses. See, now as a child,
I'm sorry, but
as a child,
parents.
as a child,
oh my God, I tell you.
as a child, as a child. Chisaj, you feel me? This is what I would say. First of all, if you feel like you don't totally agree with your parents' way, one thing I've realized is parents might go against you, but once they see progress in whatever you decide to do, if you don't listen to them and you pursue it and there's progress, they start supporting you. Which means
shitty behavior.
No, which means that
I cannot agree with that.
which means that you as a child, you can
Now only fair weather you with my parents won't come cluster one for fair weather.
Oh, sorry. When things are getting good, that's when you're now like trying to support me. Why can't you support me from nonsense?
Yeah, that part.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
See,
that's very
that I'm not making outright excuses for parents.
Make certain decisions based off of how they were raised, but I don't think that's a good excuse. I think that is a little bit. We make all these excuses for them, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense, because, sure, you were raised a certain type of, okay, you know what, let's even ask the question. If they raised you and, they tied you up every morning and evening, and they turned you upside down for 5 minutes every day, but you live in society, you know that that's wrong. So now that you're an adult, would you say, well, because they raised me like that, that's what I need to do? No, you would do better. And that's all that I expect of parents, to do better, to have an open mind, to not have a closed mind. I don't think it's rocket science, so that excuse, it doesn't fly with me at all.
The gag is sometimes we all need to take accountability. I don't believe in blaming our parents for everything.
Exactly my point.
You fucking got the girl pregnant. You know the implications. There's no excuse. You watched porn. You know that when you insert your dick into someone's VJJ, you get someone pregnant.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I'm sure probably you guys have had, is that is correct? You guys have had multiple sexual encounters.
Yeah.
And that girl probably might have told you, baby,
Near misses.
and it might say, period, baby, I'm ovulating, baby, I'm this, I'm that. And you still shot whatever. And I'm still trying to say, you got the girl pregnant. You still went to go tell your mom or dad. Mom or dad, I got this girl pregnant. Why are you still blaming your parents? I just feel, take accountability.
So where the parents come in as
If
the
the
parents
parents
don't
make the
force them
decision
to marry.
and marriage fails, are we allowed to blame them?
They don't
or
force them to
ourselves?
marry.
Who were not they did not think that they would have us.
If the parent make the decision, and the
So
marriage
if you go
fails,
south, we'll first be the parents first.
No, they actually, and that in this context, so all the
Even as we are falling,
all the accounts to the parents.
as far as I am paying the fees, and this is what I subscribe to. Or for example, my child wakes up, there are things I could, tally with my child. My child wakes up and tells me that I don't want to go to church, then stay at home, that's fine. But I'm just saying things that I know that could hurt my child.
That could hurt. And
Creator
will hurt them.
I just give an example.
At least that one, we know that porn star is not something that you should advise.
Okay, would you allow your child be a content creator? Nah. I'm not saying it's bad though. You guys should not get me wrong.
That's what you're saying.
This is some.
who is always on social media and I see
That's
how much
long.
content creators if my child comes to me and tells me, Mommy, I want to be a content, go for it.
Kids should not be a content creator, but that is not something to major on. I referred it back to when I told my pop man I wanted to go for theater. You feel me? It was like right from when you did secondary school, you don't do art. You feel me? This is something that you have as a gift. Go for something that is most like this is something you can just grow up and develop and just but go for something else that is not a gift that you know that
is not the chase. Talent is not enough. So once you have a talent and you don't build on your talent, you're not going nowhere with it.
Place to force you to tell you based on the fact that I pay your fees.
Yes.
This is what you must do.
well it is the first being my okay
Should guide. You should have the conversation like you. Okay, this is what it is. These are your options. Yeah, you can do this, but I would advise you do this.
I like your approach.
The approach.
Talking about how parents make certain decisions based off of how they were raised. But I don't think that's enough. I don't think that that's a good excuse, because even if you were raised a certain type of way, now that you are old enough to make your own informed decision, you don't have to cling on to those ideas or those notions. Like, those are not the things. Like, being open-minded isn't something that you needed to have been taught.
I would say all parents, of course, if not all, like 90% are doing and raising us well for their own reputation. Like they say that your kids are your, yes, just like God. God created us in his own image. So sometimes when you do some things and you say you are a Christian or you are a devoted Muslim to some extent, some people are like, how are you? And then you're still having all of this bad character. Do you understand? So I feel like to their reputation, even though they don't want you to be in a broken home, they don't want you to be in poverty, all of it is still under their own self-reputation. Genuinely, it should be your mother or your father's image. Like, let them see you and be very glad. Let her or him, your parents, let them be free to say, oh, this is my child. And they are not shy, because there are some parents, they are like, oh, Adojutini or more, that's like a very disgraceful kid or child. I don't want her. So I feel like we all live for our parents' self-reputation.
Not a good thing, right?
I mean, it might not be a good thing.
I feel like for the most part, parents are worried about their own reputation. You know, so.
That's
but for my own parents, I think they were more worried about poverty because.
My own parents say maybe she's my own mother. She's more worried about broken home. She doesn't want any of her kids to be in a no. You have to be well. So if you are, of course, for you not to be in a broken home, you are going to be wealthy. You're going to be very okay. So that one is continue.
You just equate broken home with wealth.
No. In my own opinion.
Hey, you're going to me.
Okay, let me explain this now. I'm never going to be in a broken home.
Because
neither will I not have money. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
But you say because you have money, having money prevents you from being in a broken home. That's what you are saying.
Why? Some people have the old word and they're not happy in their marriage or whatever. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, of course, I'm never going to be in a broken home and I'm going to be rich as fuck.
Most parents are so concerned with their own image that they would even force let's say this example of broken home now. You know that your kid is not happy in this marriage, but because you don't want your church member or one person in the streets to say something, you be convincing the child that you make it work, just be there. And so I do it with your papa, all these excuses, you feel me? Knowing fully well that your kid is literally going to hell, you feel me? So, and on that part, the parents really need to do better because
yes,
and that's where in this generation I always will tell parents at all. I always will tell parents adults that in everything, you yourself, aside from if you want to be such a good child, find a way to seek what is good for yourself and still not extremely offend your parents. You feel me? Like, and that starts from you having a clear vision of how you want your life to be or turn out. You feel me? Because half the time it is easier to influence somebody that is just following. You feel me? So, and that's the mistake most people make. You yourself don't, like the case where we were talking about the other time about parents influencing what you want to do. You feel me? If I know that na doctor I won't become, or na mechanic I won't become, and my parents want me to be a doctor, half the time all I'll be doing is how to prove to them that even this mechanic like this, it is something that can bring the same results as being a doctor. You feel me? But what most people are after is how to just fight the parents' opinion without bringing evidence that can convince them.
I feel like most parents do that because for the most part the children are naive. They don't really know how to navigate stuff. That is how I'm thinking. So on that premise, it's not the worst to, but I still feel we should have it's not supposed to be military command something.
Well, this question, I'd like to say that I don't think I'm willing to give up something for what I haven't seen where it's going to lead to.
It's your husband, isn't it?
Even if it's my husband, because now it has to do with being blackmailing and feeling entitlement. And me, I don't like to be in that situation. I even expect less from anybody.
To an extent, I think the feeling entitled part is it's situational, because it depends on the partner you're with, how the partner is making you feel about your sacrifice. In most cases, if the partner is making you feel worse, you actually have the right to feel entitled because you are sacrificing for the family, and that should not go unnoticed.
Yes.
You feel me? So in cases where they are making it look like you didn't do shit, you need to let them know that, come on man, I did this shit for you people to survive. But in the scenario where the family that you sacrifice for,
blackmail.
You are the one that you are being narcissistic to call it emotional blackmail.
Why do you think so?
Yeah, because if I
if
I sacrifice for you and you don't recognize it, I'll call you to. If I finance my kids and I'm telling you do this and you decide to go and be nonsense, I'll cut off all the support I'm giving you. Crazy. You shouldn't call it blackmailing, because why do you think people listen to responsibility?
you should be able to show gratitude to your parents, right? If your parents, not all parents are there for their children. It is your responsibility, yes, but you need to show gratitude, at least at some point, you know? So, I mean, if your parents put everything they have to, that's how like my parents raised me, right? They put their own things on the line for me to achieve, right? So when I'm an achiever, I'll now say, like, I don't owe them anything. Like, that's absurd. That's like, you don't deserve good parents, you know? So I feel like there should be reciprocity. Yes, if your parents are responsible enough and take care of you, you should be a good child, you know, and take care of them when you can too. So, I mean, I don't understand his philosophies.
Let's even even sacrifice. If it's just generally when they say when somebody gives you something, you appreciate it, and that appreciation makes the person more comfortable to give you more. But if the person gives you and you don't appreciate it, do you think the person will want to give you? No. That is to total stranger, not to you know what? And this is the problem. This is why we keep blaming our parents. Because we don't recognize their sacrifice. But these people don't rest you, Aisha. They say we're appreciating it today. But I am going to give you red carpet. I get this scenario. I said in the case where they are appreciating it, you feel me? You can't start boasting of anything you do because they really literally understand your sacrifice and they appreciate it. You feel me?
Knowing the other side in a marriage, that's the thing. Because if you're not expecting more because of the sacrifice,
they call it sacrifice because it's sacrifice, because it's heavy, because it's not something you can just do ordinarily. But that is why it's sacrifice. You chose to do. And if you make sacrifice for anything, even God that gave his only begotten son is entitled to our worship, is entitled to everything. If it is neutral, then God doesn't want us to do whatever we like.
That's 3 million naira for me that I didn't ask you to do.
I don't owe you anything.
That's 3 million naira invest in my life. I don't owe you anything, no?
That is totally strange. Thank you for finally here.
Thank you.
This is one of the reasons why I feel like we have problems with our parents. Because we refuse to recognize their sacrifices.
If the man sacrifices,
Yes, their temper is off.
I know, easy to get something, and like the general thing, like men, the sacrificing for men is default. He can't say he misses his freedom. I mean, because
We living in bondage.
you set out to have a family, right?
Set out.
So yes, of course.
It's so that's how it always is. Every time someone has a child, they set out to have a child, or sometimes it happens accidentally.
I mean, a Virgin Mary story would they talk about? Like the man impregnated the woman, right? The other aunt.
He has sex. He does not impregnate. So when you say
What's the question?
Wait, Calvin, your question is not clear.
no, it is clear. Yeah, it is absolutely clear. It's clear. But this is why I invite they're not impregnate, because what you're saying now sounds as though was this young man, this maybe 23-year-old guy was like, you know what? I want to impregnate this 22-year-old girl so that my life would take this turn. It was not an intentional decision. He only wanted to have intercourse, and it amounted to something else. So it was not intentional, by the way. So when he set out to do it, I don't know what you mean by that. I have this opinion here.
Dapuye answer the question first.
Dapuye, can I help you? No, I cannot help you.
All right, let's. So I'm saying you have to be responsible. Okay, he didn't plan it, but it's here. You be responsible. Who's going to take care of your
Mess.
your child? Is it me? I mean, okay, that's what he said. Like he didn't set out to make her pregnant.
Yeah.
But now she's pregnant. Are you going to leave the child for?
So it's not about leaving the child. The point is, at this point now, if I miss my regular life, if I feel like I've missed out on life, are you now saying I shouldn't feel that way because
What's your regular
I believe
You have a responsibility.
A part of me wants to say that I'm disappointed because I would think that someone like Dapuye would know better than to say or than to suggest that, you know, a man shouldn't you have certain feelings like missing certain things. Like I think it's only human. Men are humans too. So if you have had an experience and you miss it, there's no crime in that. So we criminalize these things and make it seem as though men shouldn't feel certain things. And I think that has to change, you know, honestly. I think it's got to change.
and you should cater to your
It's not saying he's abandoning it.
Yeah, but I miss
So
my
what do you mean by you miss your old life?
Don't women miss their old self after they give birth and they are very ready?
So what do you want to do?
Do I even have it?
So or have a child?
See,
They are different places. The thing is, I don't want you to invalidate this. This is what now?
I'm not invalidating it. You asked me the question directly, and they give you my direct answer.
Okay.
And I'm taking this your direct answer, and I'm telling you that this direct answer is full of shit.
Okay.
And it is invalidating a man's own experience. And and usually we want to hold women at do that, but also support men, because in this case, if a man says if a man says he misses his former life, miss it, The only problem there, no, true. The only problem there is after missing it, you now decide to act on it, then neglect your family. Even if it is job,
Like you're going
before you get a job naturally, you are in the house and you are complaining of brokenness, and you finally got a job, a 9-to-5 job. By the time you start that job for 1-2 months, you go to miss it when you dey house.
Start the right of the miss. You miss am now. What thing go happen?
If that feeling valid enough, that's what we are saying. The feeling is valid. The feeling is married.
Once in a while, you just go and go back to your old life. If you were a child, it's okay.
No. But that's the most. That's very realistic.
See,
like,
see.
What do you need? See.
You're making it look like you can't miss your old life. You can't miss your old life.
They're very easy to journey. What I'm still for there is, sorry guys, what me understood is you definitely want to, even in the situation where you set out to have a family, it will get, because you've not experienced it, you don't know how you will feel about what you have never experienced. Say you feel me? So in the marriage, you are seeing how it's going, like, oh more, so now so it be. Damn, I miss when I go just day by 3 a.m. I don't go my guy's side, go chill. You feel me? You are allowed that experience. But I'm there. So you then need to have to answer on it. But
be anything.
is the feeling valid or not? That's the question. But the feeling is valid.
Because some what are you saying? Some marriages are like that. Do you know some ladies, they cut their husband off everything. Exactly.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I feel life is about balance, right? You are married to this person, quote unquote. You could, if you miss your life, you could have that conversation with your girl or your partner. And tell your partner, this is what I miss, right? If she's an understanding, again, I don't like to use that word understanding. If she's what's the word?
Everything just depends on who you are married.
If she's a reasonable lady,
yes.
she will allow you. You know, if it's
You
miss that banging now. You go and tell your husband.
Communication. How that conversation with you?
And if also she does not allow you, that means she does not have
He's
sex.
saying it depends on the person.
If she does,
It depends on who you are.
if you allow it, it means you are reasonable.
So if you have made a commitment to partner up with someone and build a future, you should stick there. You should not halfway down the line say, oh, I'm tired, I want to go back to my Ashawo life. Who's going to allow you to do that? So when you're done with your Ashawo this thing, are you going to come back to the... I don't get it. I mean, it's a mental decision. Look at the ceremony. You called a whole lot of people, fed them and all of that. That means like you're ready to... Well, it's important to be with someone you really care for. But nonetheless, once you're in there, stay there. Once you start looking backwards, oh, I'm missing this, so you want to go back to the womanizing or the... Do you get me? So if you make a conscious decision to start a family, stay there. Nothing is easy.